Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Carol Moulton coming to you once again with Tea Time with Carol, and so pleased to be back with you. Again, I've missed you. I don't know if you've missed me, but I've certainly missed you. And I want to talk to you today for just a few minutes, just a little while, if you would bear me out. I'd like to talk to you about the law of compensation. It's one of the universal laws. It's one that Jesus talked about. And it's common and one that I don't think we really pay enough attention to. Um, Very simply, the law of compensation says you get what you give. Jesus said you reap what you sow. So, but it's the same principle. It's about what you put out there is what you receive. You're compensated for what you do, for what you say, the effort that you make, all of that you put out there is what you get back. Um, I think the problem that we have with it is sometimes we expect to get it back like it's a microwave. Like you put it out there. Well, I was good. I paid, the church. I put money in the church. I did these things. I paid a meal to a homeless person, and you expect like by tonight you're supposed to have $1 million or something, and it really does not work that way. So, story time. I have a little story to share with you. Um, I started working for the government. I am not even going to tell you how many years ago it was because it's like ridiculous. It's probably more years ago than many of you have been on the planet. But I started working a long time ago, and I started in the lowest of the low positions. I was a GS2. And it was cool. It was money, it was a paycheck, and I wasn't really doing anything else, and my mother insisted that I do something. I had dropped out of college, and she wasn't real happy about that either. Me neither of my parents were real happy. So, I started working for the government, and it was a GS2. Now, the only thing lower than a GS2 was a GS1. So that tells you how low it was. And pretty soon, after I started working, I was working in the HR, personnel, HR, there's so many different names for it now, but at that time it was Office of Personnel. And they started realizing that they could give me more advanced work to do. I wasn't just doing, simple typing and filing. They were giving me more advanced work. And I had a boss actually who was an alcoholic. You could not talk to him after lunch every day. He would shut his door and nobody could knock on the door. Nobody could get anything out of him because he was drinking, for the rest of the afternoon. And he started giving me all of his work to do. Now, that man was like a GS 13, which is very, very high up in government. And I did it. I did it because I wanted to learn. I didn't complain about it. I just did it. And a lot of the workers around me were complaining and they felt like it wasn't fair to me. And, there was a lot of grumbling about all the work that was being pushed over to me. I never complained about it. I did it, not looking for any kind of compensation, in the future. But my point is, I did all of that without complaining, without, justifying, without being upset about it. And years and years later, as I continued in my government career, all of those things I learned as a GS2, I needed and I used at the end of my by the end of my career, and I ended my government career in 2020 as a senior executive. What I'm saying is, number one, don't despise humble beginnings, and number two, you'd be surprised at how things can manifest. You know, the things that I learned doing the work of a GS-13 as a GS-2, I needed throughout the rest of my career. So that's just my little story time on how not focusing on the results, not focusing on the compensation end, what you get back, can really work to your benefit. So that's that's my little story. I may have another little story for you today. I don't know, but we'll see. Um, I came across this quote today, and I thought this was particularly insightful. Your physical reality, your physical reality is an expression of your past actions and beliefs. Ooh, that's deep. Let me say that one again. Your physical reality, whatever is real in the physical right now, it's an expression of your past actions and beliefs. So that's, I mean, you could take that in a lot of different ways. I mean, um, what you weigh, you know, your weight, your physical reality of your body is an expression of your past actions and beliefs. So if your past action was, you know, eating sugar and dessert every day doesn't harm me, and now your physical reality is that you're dealing with diabetes or some other disease that is manifested, then that disease is an expression of your past actions and beliefs. Okay, I'm gonna leave that right there. Um, if you wanna change it, start looking at your actions and beliefs. So okay, I've noticed that when I'm online and I'm kind of scrolling through, I see a lot of, breaking news, and it's about, somebody has died in some unexpected, horrific way. Usually it's a younger person. And Spirit said to me earlier this week, don't click on any more of those death notices. Don't focus on the dead. Focus on your living. Focus on life. And I felt like that was just so important and so insightful, so needed. Because I noticed that when you click on those things, it takes you down a garden path of a whole bunch more of, other people who died in unexpected ways, or, you know, just crazy stuff going on in the world. And I really didn't want to bring that. I did not want to manifest that in my physical reality. So I don't click on those anymore. I don't look at those. If it's not my own obituary, I'm really not interested. I don't want to see it. So the point is, if you don't like what you're getting, change what you're putting out. So I needed to change what I'm reading, what I'm taking in, so that I can put out something very different. I want to operate at a higher level, and I can't stay focused on, that kind of stuff. And actually, you need to guard your eyes. That's in the word also. You need to guard your eyes, period, and guard what you're taking in, because there's just so much junk online and everywhere. I mean, it's very difficult to avoid it, but you've got to be very judicious about what you take in. So if you don't like what you're getting, change what you're putting out, and start with you. So let me just ask you a question. How do you start your day? Do you start your day hitting the snooze bar 15 times? I mean, and then you complain about not having enough time, and then you're rushing to get out the door? Do you start with prayer and gratitude? And when I say prayer, I don't mean your wish list. I mean, starting with, I'm so happy and grateful that I woke up this morning in wrapped in the arms of infinite intelligence, God's love for me, that He has provided me with everything I need in the physical realm at this time. Now you may want more, but let's just talk about what you have and being grateful for what you have. And be specific, and just express that, about have a gratitude journal. I mean, just really being thankful for what you already have received. And that's really the key to so many things, breaking through anxiety, breaking through fear, breaking through so many things. You've really got to be more uh, considerate of your thinking, because if you're I don't know why this thing keeps popping up like this. I hope you can't hear it, but I've got a lot of notifications coming in this morning for some reason. But negativity breeds more negativity. Jealousy creates more jealousy. Anxiety creates more uncertainty and anxiety. So, if you want a healthier life, if you want more of something different, then start with your thinking. Start with how you see the world, because that creates your experience. If you believe that the world is abundant, that there's more than enough for everybody, then that's what you'll get. If you believe that life is cruel and harsh and difficult, then you'll get that too. So it's all about how you see things, and you can change the way you see things. You can change your perception. Wayne Dwyer, I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was a great prolific author. He wrote, I don't know, 80 books, I don't know, some ridiculous amount of books. And you can find a lot of them in Hay House. Really good writer, a real down to earth kind of writer, very practical. And he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now that's deep. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that sort of goes to what I was talking about, your feed and what you look at online. If you're looking at a lot of negative stuff, you'll get more negative stuff. So you've got to really be consistent in guarding your eyes and being focused, and not just scrolling, mindlessly, which is easy to do, because studies have said that we now have less attention span than a goldfish, which is 8 seconds. And that's why a lot of the reels and stories are so short, because the algorithm knows your attention span has been compromised. And so they just want you to keep scrolling. And you can do that because you don't have to think. It's just presented right there in your face. But back to my message. That was a little side rant there. You attract what you are. Your thoughts and behaviors create emotions. And emotions are just energy in motion. So if you want something different, if you want to walk around not being mad all the time, then change your thoughts. And you can do it. You can do it. You're like, how can you change what you're thinking about? Well, you can. You definitely can. And we'll talk more about how to change your thoughts in an upcoming session. I'm not going to go way into that today. But one thing that you can do is make a decision to just show up differently. Who can you be kind to today? And I don't mean, a family member, people kind of expect it from you, but how can you show kindness today? Maybe in the grocery store, or just something totally unexpected. And one of the things that I've noticed on my feed that there's a lot of kindness, and I'm doing air quotes, kindness, where people go up and say things like, do you have $1? I need $1 for the bus. And then they gift the person with, a big amount of money. And it occurred to me, it seems like that's really nice. It seems, oops, sorry. It seems like that's a really nice thing to do, but the problem is it's online. It's online. Jesus talked about doing your good deeds in secret, so that only God knows what you're doing. So it's sort of, I mean, it's nice that people are doing acts of kindness. I think that's a wonderful thing. But it sort of rubs me a little bit the wrong way that it's being recorded. So, like, it makes me a little uncomfortable, because if you really want to be just kind, you do it in secret. You don't need, likes. You don't need the clout. You don't need, to elevate your status on social media by being publicly kind to people in need. I mean, I'm sure the people in need appreciate it, but it just it just reminds me a little bit too much of the Pharisees who prayed in public, and made a big deal about, whatever good works they were doing. And Jesus didn't have a lot of love for them either. But anyway, just be kind today. Just be kind to someone. Go out of your way to be kind to someone today. You know that. Oh God, I have never. Now my phone has not blipped all morning, and I get on and there are just all these blips. So I know that this is a special message, and I know that this is really intended to help someone, and that's why there is so much opposition to this message, but it's needed. And I've just prayed against the prince of the powers of the air who would try to disrupt this message from the person who really needs to hear it, who really needs to be encouraged today. So we're just going to silence all that so this message continues to get through. You see what I'm talking about? So, God. Oh, Lordy. So anyway, we're gonna wrap up now. My point is, when you're being kind, don't worry about how this is supposed to happen or who. Just show up. Just show up, rooted and grounded in love. Don't just get out of your own head and start looking around. Number one, at how beautiful the world is. Just see the beauty of the world. See the beauty that's been created for you to enjoy at this moment in time. All of this, the trees, the flowers, the air, everything was created for you. And so with that, my beloved, we're going to close for today. Know that I love you. I love you, love you, love you. And if if you want more from me, please feel free to check out the website, MoultonExecutiveCoaching.com. It's MOULTON, executivecoaching.com. Just check me out, hear me out. I'm going to be starting a group coaching very soon, and so stay tuned for more information about that. That may be something you'll be interested in, and I'm really thinking that it's going to be something really special that you'll want to get focused on and hear more about. And the book that I think I mentioned to you is that I contributed. I did not write the whole book, but I'm a contributing author. That is at the publisher right now, so that's going to be coming out very, very soon. I'll have more information for you about that, and I'll probably be giving away a couple of copies to some lucky listener. So stay tuned and stay blessed, and know that everything you want is on the other side of fear. And with that, my beloved, we're going to close for today. Be blessed. Continue doing good. Be good, do good. Talk to you soon. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.